Peace to the gods, man. Welcome back to another chance of opportunity, man. All praise due to the most honorable prophet Eligio the Christ. All right. So, what I want to talk to y'all today about is how Jesus is actually the Antichrist, and it's important for everybody to know this and to objectively know this because we have been being misled. We are being deceived by Jesus. So, like the most honorable prophet Eligio the Christ teaches us, we have to become objective thinkers. We have to become thinkers that go do research and that go break down the hidden meanings behind things, right? We live in a spiritual realm. Spirituality is important. Spirituality is the study of the mind. It's psychology, like Chief teaches us. So, when we're talking about spirituality, religion, all of that is just spirituality. And spirituality as interpreted by the group of people that was ruling in that day and time. So today we have the Bible, and we are aware through the teachings of the honorable prophet Eligio the Christ, we are aware that we are living within the mind of our oppressor. Babylon is a world built upon the lower self. The Caucasian or the European mentality rules this society. So we are running off of history. So we got to do a history lesson on his story, because this is not our story. This is not the way we indigenously or once lived. You feel me? We're running off of his story. We're running off the program that white supremacy has given us and has taught us. And we need to lift the veil up and truly dive deep in what his story is, right? Let's check his story. Let's make sure his story adds up, because the story that we was given by white supremacy doesn't actually add up to what's going on. So we was taught that Jesus was the Messiah, or the Son of God, the S-U-N of God. But let's break it down though. Let's really break it down for what Jesus truly is. So when you go look up where the word or the name Jesus derives from, it's important for us to know this so that we can start to see life truly for what it is, so that we can go understand and know the truth, right? A surface dweller will never find the truth. Like my chief teaches us, a surface dweller will never find the truth. That's why we have to dive deep. We have to go do the occult work and understand the underworkings of what the name Jesus means. So that we can unpack his story and make sure that it's adding up, because it don't add up when you look at it. And I'm about to show y'all how, right? So with that being said, if you go look up where the name or the title Jesus derives from, if you go do your research, don't be a surface dweller. Don't just take my word for it. When you go do your research on where the word Jesus derives from, it'll show you that Jesus derives from a Latin word. Jesus is actually a Latin word. So I want to make this clear. We are in the United States of America right now, right? We all speak English. In the Bible, Jesus came to speak and give a message to the most poor in spirit of that day and time. And logically broken people who don't have their spirituality, who don't know who they are, who don't have their identity. Who are those people? Well, it's obvious. Today, those people will be African American people, melanated beings, people of brown or people of colored descent, South American, Caribbeans, Brazilians, African Americans, right? Like Chief teaches us. So with that being said, that would mean that Jesus, who has a Latin name, he would have to come and speak English. He would have to have come to speak the language or the dialect that the people he have came to save spoken, right? So let's get that off the brakes. Let's get that understood first. Jesus is a Latin name. Furthermore, the name Jesus, which is a Latin word, actually derives and is a translation of the Greek word Iesus. Go look it up. Jesus is a translation from the Greek word Iesus. And the word Iesus is actually a translation from Hebrew, which means Yeshua or Yahawasha. But when you go do the translation of Jesus into English, you can never translate the word Jesus into an English name. Why is that? Even his mother Mary, her name is an English name. How come Mary's name is Jesus? It's English, and Jesus' name, you can't translate that to English? Because the translation of Mary actually comes from the Greek word Miriam. But the English translation of it is actually Mary. Why isn't Jesus a translation into English? Why doesn't Jesus have an English version of the name Jesus? But it has a Greek version and a Hebrew version. We are not Hebrew. We not Greek. We not Latin. The melanated beings of today, we speak English. We would need our Messiah to come in a form that speaks and resonates with our language and dialect, which is English. If Jesus or the Messiah came and spoke patois, then the people that he came to save must speak patois, not Latin. So watch this. Some would say that Jesus' name is Yahshua. Some would say that the alternative name for Jesus is Yahshua or Yahawasha. But guess what? The English translation of the Hebrew word Yahshua is actually Joshua. Now I want y'all to go do two things on your own time. Go look up Yahshua on Google, because Google is God, like Chief teaches us. Go look on Google, AI, and type in Yahshua or Yahawasha, and you let me know what pops up. Because once you go do your research, you're going to find out that the word Yahawasha or Yahshua or Joshua in English, a black man is going to appear when you type in that word. A black man is going to appear when you type in the word Yahshua. So if that's the case, and if that's Jesus' name, well, why the fuck when you type in Jesus does the image of a white Caucasian man pop up? That's something for us to think about and ponder over. Because something is not adding up. If Jesus' name is actually Yahshua, which is a Hebrew name, and the English translation of Yahshua is Joshua, and when you type that in on Google, a black man pops up. But when you type in Jesus, a white man pop up. What's wrong with that picture? What's wrong with that picture? And it's important for us to notice, like my chief teaches us, because spirituality is important. And when it comes to spirituality, it's important to know what names you are summoning or what spirits you are summoning based upon the name that you are calling on. Because when you call on Yahshua, what you think is Jesus, you are actually calling upon a black man. When you are calling upon Jesus, you're calling upon the spirit of a Caucasian man, of a European man. This is important because this is where the deception is coming into play. Because we have been taught that Jesus is our Savior, our Messiah. But we have to understand the role and the purpose of the white man, of the Caucasian man. Because we're living in his mind. We're living in the mind of our oppressor, like Chief teaches us. So I want to break it down furthermore. I spoke on the name. The names don't add up. Because you're calling on two different beings. When you call on Yahshua or Joshua, you're calling on a black man. When you're calling on Jesus, you're calling on a white man, a Caucasian man. The names don't add up. You're calling on two different people. That's confusion. Remember, your subconscious mind rules 95% of your reality, like my chief teaches us. 95%. You're only conscious of 5% of what's going on. Your subconscious cannot distinguish or cannot differentiate whether or not when you say Jesus, you calling upon Yahshua or Jesus. No. The image that pops up in your subconscious mind immediately is what? A white man, a white God, a Caucasian man. That's what your subconscious mind translates and traculates to you when you call upon Jesus or when you think of Jesus. Think about it. When you think of the name Jesus, what pops up in your mind? Not a black man. A white man with long, brown, stringy hair and blue eyes pop up. That's what comes to your mind. And that's what we are being programmed with subconsciously. This is the deception. Because Yahshua is actually a black man. Now let's take it further. Because if Yahshua is the alternative name for Jesus, then that means that the Messiah must come as a black man. Black means that you melanated, that you brown, that you dark brown, light brown, that you got melanin, right? So let's break it down. Let's go into melanin. Where was Jesus from? If you go do your research, it'll show you that Jesus was from Nazareth, or Jesus was born and raised in Nazareth, or what we know as Palestine, the Middle East, or modern day Israel, right? Jesus was born in modern day Israel, which was back then in his time in the Bible, the Middle East or Palestine or Nazareth. But today that is actually Israel. So if you go look on your world map, reflection, look on your world map. Where is Israel located? Where is the country Israel located, reflection? Yes, it's in the Middle East. It's right below Asia. Of course it is. But isn't Asia close to the equator? Isn't Asia close to the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn? And then it will tell you that Jesus was a Semitic being. He was from the Middle East, and he had olive to light brown tone of skin. He had an olive or a light brown tone of skin pigment. Of course he would, because he was next to the equator. And if you look on the map, on your world map today, Israel is at the top right, the last country that's a part of Africa. Jesus was from Africa. Jesus was a black man. The Messiah would have to come in the form of a black man, because if Jesus was from the Middle East and was from Palestine or Nazareth, which is modern day Israel, which is in Africa, Northeast Africa, that means that the Messiah would have to be a black man, not a white man. So why, scientifically, why are we praising a white Jesus? Why are we praising a Caucasian being? You see what I'm saying? And you have to understand, like my chief teaches us, the Caucasian is a physical manifestation of melanated beings' disobedience to nature. The Caucasian or the European is our lower self. They are the cancer cell, not all of them, but majority. It's a mentality. They are the cancer cell for the body of God that we are living in. They are the devil. They are the opposition. And what is the job and the purpose of the devil or the evil one? The purpose and the job of the evil one, like Chief teaches, is to kill, steal, and destroy. So when you calling upon the spirit of Jesus and you summoning the spirit of Jesus, what are you calling upon? Are you not calling upon the spirit of the Antichrist? Are you not calling upon the spirit of the evil one, which is the one that lives backwards and live out of tune in harmony with the equilibrium of the planet? You have to peep the deception. You have to peep it, because black people, we are very meek. We are very meek and naive, like children. And due to our naivety, the Caucasian has been able to capitalize on that and deceive us from what we truly are. Because instead of us worshiping a melanated being, which all life stems from, we're worshiping a Caucasian being that is a genetic mutation of us. You follow me? You see what I'm saying? So Jesus will have to be a black man. Matter of fact, the name Jesus is a Latin name. So that means Jesus will have to be speaking a dialect of Spanish or some form of Latin. The most poor in spirit of people today are African American people, melanated beings, Brazilian, Caribbean people, those of South American and African descent. Not Caucasian people, not European people. They are not the poor in spirit. They know who they are. They got their last name. They have their culture. They have their way of life. They rule. It's only melanated beings that don't know who they are. We are the only beings in species with the identity crisis. We are the only beings in species of human that don't know who we are. So now we got to ask ourselves, now that we done unpacked what the hell Jesus was, now we know that, oh, okay, well, we're being deceived. by the names, because you can't actually translate Jesus into an English name. So that means that, well, the Messiah will have to come and speak our language. Jesus is a Latin person. He doesn't speak English. He can't come articulate himself in a way that can resonate with African American people and melanated beings of today. This is the illusion. This is the illusion that has been brought upon us, people. Reflections. And we have to wake up. That's why we're in the age of information, the age of Aquarius, the age of truth. The water and the information is being poured out for us to understand truth and understand what's really going on. And that's why I give praise to the most honorable prophet, Eligio the Christ. Because in today's time, the Messiah is a black man. Right? They said Jesus was a son. He was one with the Father. No, it's not the Father. It's actually the mother. The mother. And Jesus is the son of man, the son of the mother, right? But all life originates from who? The black woman, the XX chromosome. All life originated in Africa, and the black woman is the avatar, the complete being, like she teaches us, that everything comes and stems from, because we all have belly buttons. We all are children in fruits, especially man. We all are children in the fruit of the black woman. And the Messiah will have to come in the form of a black man that goes through the trials and the tribulations of the Messiah that was described inside of the Bible, inside of your book. Go pick up your book and read it. So when you go look at the story of Jesus and the walk of Jesus in the 4 Gospels, John, Luke, Matthew, and Mark, go read it. Go listen to the audiobook, however you need to do it. If you go follow the walk in the description of the Messiah inside the Bible, who equals up and who resonates today, in today's time, with the trials and tribulations that Jesus was going through in that time? Because the only person I know that's going through the trials and the persecution that Jesus went through in the Bible today is the most honorable prophet, Eligio the Christ, Nature Boy. That's the only black man, the only spiritual teacher that's going through what Jesus has actually went through. I'm talking about from many disciples being called and walking with him, and many of those disciples finding the teachings too hard to apply to their lives, so they give up and they turn their back on the mission. They turn their back on the teachings. Has this not happened in my chief's reality? Has this not happened in my chief's spiritual journey? It has. It has. It's actually public record. It's actually public record that this has happened. Let's keep going. Has my chief, or who y'all know as Nature Boy, not come to his own people to give them truth, and was denied by his own people and sent to the Pharisees and the Sadducees, which is the authorities of today, like Jesus was in that time in the Bible? Was my chief not falsely accused of something that he didn't do and persecuted maliciously by the authorities of today and sentenced to life in prison without parole with a 10-year sentence? Yeah, that sounds like a crucifixion to me, and it was done publicly, right? Why do y'all see all this YSL Young Thug cases going on, the Lil Woody and all this shit going on, the motherfucking what's dude name? Tory Lanez, all these cases. Why is Chief's name up here with all of these celebrities? Why was his case broadcasted with the YSL Rico case, with all these celebrities' cases and what they had going on? Because Chief is a very special individual. Because they have systems and infrastructures in place like COINTELPRO to stop the rise of a black messiah. Because the powers that be, the Caucasians, the gods of this realm, of this world, they know that black people are the gods. They know that black people are God's people. And they know that the Messiah will have to rise out of the ranks of those people. They know that. So they do everything in their power and their ability to stop that. And what happened? The spirit of the devil, the evil one, travels through the minds and the consciousness of our own people. That's what happened. You seen black people crucify the character of my chief and falsely lie on him and persecute him and send him to authorities so that he can get life in prison for something that he didn't do. All he did was came and teach divine knowledge itself, which is the truth, absolute truth, which is God, that we are all God and we are not separate from God. We are here to get in tune with nature and get in tune with the planet because we are the planet. We are the universe. We are not separate. Chief came to break the separation of the illusion of separation. This is the Messiah of today's time. And I wanted to help break it down for y'all with the name Jesus and where Jesus came from. Because it's deceiving. We are being misled, and that's what truth speakers are here to do. We are here to expose all of the lies, all of the deception, so that we can all see clearly, so that we can all know truth. But we will we won't know truth if we keep going along with the Jesus shit. Stop letting Jesus go into your subconscious mind. Stop proclaiming it. Stop saying Jesus is this, Jesus that, Jesus that. Hey, if you believe in Jesus, that is okay, because you are in your own reality and you are only going to perceive reality from how you perceive it. Truly. But what I would like for you to know, and what the Messiah of today, which is my chief, the Most High Chief, Eligio the Christ, what we would like you to know is that you are being deceived by believing in a white Jesus, because Jesus is actually calling upon the spirit of a white man. And the white man, look at what the white man is doing today. The white man is killing, destroying, and stealing from nature. It's killing, stealing, and destroying from the planet. Everything that the white man put his hands on, it is destroyed. It is being destroyed. Even our people. Look at you feel me? We got to take responsibility for what's going on with us. But we definitely have to understand who cut off the lights. Who cut off the lights and made sure that we stayed asleep and made sure that we were deceived. The Caucasian, our lower self. So we got to go check history and make sure his story is adding up, because it doesn't add up. Jesus was from the Middle East, Nazareth, Palestine, which is modern day Israel. Israel is a part of Africa, near the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn. It is near the equator in the equinox. You would have had to be a melanated being for you to even be sustained in that environment. You couldn't be born with Caucasian pigment or with no melanin and grow and be raised up in a region of that time. It doesn't make sense. You will have to have melanin. So Jesus, or which is really the alternative word, Yahshua, is a black man. So when you call on Yahshua, y'all say that, oh, well, Jesus is universally accepted by all people. And if you follow the laws or the commandments of the Bible, then the title doesn't mean anything. But that's not true, Reflection. That is not true. Like the Honorable Eligio the Christ teaches us, words are very powerful. Words are spells. That's why it's called spelling. We are casting words with our spells. We are casting words with what we say. Your universe and your reality is contingent upon what you speak and think into existence. So words are very important, especially when it comes to spirituality, because you're calling upon a spirit. You're calling upon an energy. And you can't say that, oh, we accept Jesus universally as that name, because some people call Jesus Yahshua and some people call Jesus Jesus. But Jesus, the word Jesus is a Latin name. The word Yahshua is a Hebrew name. And when you type in, look up the word Yahshua, a black man appears. And when you type in Jesus, a white man appears. So what spirit or what entity are we truly calling upon? What entity or spirit are we truly calling upon when we calling upon Jesus? You're calling upon the Antichrist, Reflection. You're calling upon the Antichrist. The Antichrist. The Caucasian, the European is here to kill, steal, and destroy, like my chief teaches us. Your subconscious mind doesn't know better. It does not differentiate Yahshua from Jesus. If you think that Yahshua is Jesus, when your subconscious mind resonates with that or registers that, the image of a white man pops up. Your oppressor. So that's why we all believe in Jesus. Well, not me, but that's why the masses believe in Jesus and render Jesus as their God. But really, It's the subconscious reminder that the white man is your God. That's why on your money, on your dollar, on your $5 bill, on your 20, on your 50, on your $100 bill is a white man. And it say what? In God we trust. Because they put an image of a white man in your mind as Jesus, and now you're worshiping a white man as God. It's a subconscious thing, reflection. And this is why it's important for us to understand the subconscious mind and how reality works, like my chief teaches us. Because if you don't, then you will be deceived. You will be misled. You see what I'm saying? Even the Bible, King on Go, the Bible say he's not white, but they continue to call upon the name of Jesus, which is a Latin name. And the image that pops up in your mind for Jesus is a white man. So that's a deception in itself. That's why my chief teaches us that the Bible is meant to be decoded and broken down and actually meant to be understood. Because if you don't, then you're going to be okay. And in the Bible will say that Jesus was made of bronze and he had hair like wool. But they keep saying Jesus, 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 Jesus. And your subconscious mind has taken in from pictures, music, videos, movies, all billboards, all in your environment, the cross, churches, everybody worshiping Jesus. So although the Bible describes Jesus as a melanated being, the image that pops up in your subconscious mind is a white man. So subconsciously you worship the white man, which is actually a genetically modified mutation of the original black man and black woman. The Messiah will have to come as a black man, the son of the mother, not the father, the son of the mother, which is the quantum unified field, the black woman, which all life comes from. Jesus is a black man, the child of the what? You feel me? The child of the mother. Not the son of the father. The son of the mother. The son is the conscious mind. The mother is the moon, the subconscious mind, the quantum field of infinite possibilities. The quantum unified field, like the most honorable Eligio the Christ teaches us. Jesus was a black man. And I done proved it to you with objective facts. So that's what it is. Reflect the life from the honorable prophet Eligio the Christ. I love myself, man. Y'all make sure y'all understand and y'all break down y'all Bible. Y'all make sure that y'all understand what Jesus is. Break down that name. Go and find out and do your research that name Jesus derives from a Greek word which was Iesus. Iesus is a translation of the Hebrew word Yahshua. Yahshua is a black man. The English translation of Yahshua is Joshua. If you go look up the name Yahshua on Google, it'll show you a black man. But the word Jesus cannot be translated into English. That don't make sense, because it would have to make sense for the Messiah to come and be speaking English, not fucking Latin, not Latinese, English. All right? So y'all get up on it. Go do your studies. Don't be deceived. Don't be so naive to where you don't go dive deep and dive under the surface to get the truth. Because that's where the truth lies. That's why it's called occult, hidden, secret knowledge. Because it's not what you can see with the naked eye. It's what your mind has to go dive deeper into so that you can truly understand it. And if y'all want to come up and build about this, y'all can build. Y'all can pop up and we can build about this. Because we all need to know. We need to know. Black people need to know. We need to know what's truly going on in our reality. Because Jesus is not the Messiah. This is the Messiah of today. This is the Messiah of today. Eligio the Christ. You can even go look up Chief's name, yo. Go look up Chief's name. Eligio means the chosen one or the elected. Bishop means the overseer. What is a bishop? The archbishop, which is an overseer of the church. Juju Maria, I appreciate that, God. Eligio bishop is a title. It's not a name. It is a title, which means the chosen one or the elected official or the overseer of the church over the body of God. We are all cells within the body of God. Chief is the son in human form, the Messiah, the messenger that came to help us understand what this dream was. He is the dreamer. Christ is the dreamer. And the Christ is a black man, a melanated man. And none other than the prophet Eligio the Christ has went through the trials and tribulations, the journey, the teachings, the betrayal of the disciples, you feel me? The false persecution, the malicious prosecution. Nobody else is going through that. Nobody else is going through that. And my chief is not locked up. You want to know why? My chief is not locked up because you cannot lock up a liberated man. Go ask ChatGPT this. Ask ChatGPT, can you lock up a liberated man? Peace to the gods, Capri. You cannot lock up a liberated man. Why? Because although you can bound them physically, mentally, and spiritually, that person is unbound. And due to the law of karma, cause and effect, there has to be a way to free this being. Mama shoot peace, God. There has to be a way to free this being because my chief he's a free-minded being. You cannot lock up a liberated man. A liberated being or a liberated man is somebody that's free spiritually and mentally. So although you locked up the physical body, you cannot lock up the mentality and the spirituality of this being. So cause and effect. There must be a effect to that cause. Cause he got locked up and cause he is a free-minded, liberated individual, there must be a effect or an equal exchange to where an opportunity presents itself that he must be released and freed out physically from those bars, but from behind those jail bars. It's already written. This is the second coming of Christ, reflection. I will have all of you know that this is the second coming of Christ. This is it. Jesus never died in the Bible. The Messiah never died. He rose in 3 days. It's going on what? 3 years for my chief? It's feeling like 3 days to me. It's feeling like 3 days to me. I appreciate all the love, God. It's feeling like 3 days to me. So with that being said, please go do your research. Go do your research and your studies on history, on his story, on our oppressor's history. Make sure his story is lining up and adding up with what the fuck is going on. Because it's not adding up, reflection, and we're all being deceived, whether you like it or not. Because your subconscious mind is being bombarded and ransacked with the image of a white Jesus, the image of a cross, the image of a white, blue-eyed, long-haired man that's not here to do anything for you. That's not here to do anything for you. Look at the Caucasian man today. Okay, if Jesus was a white man, that means that the Messiah would have to pop up as a white man. But like my chief teaches us, a less melanated being it couldn't be possible for this being to be able to embody, realize, and interpret nature the way that a melanated man or a melanated being could, because they lack melanin. They lack connection to the universe. They lack melanin. They lack the ability to be in tune with the all. So how could a white man be the Messiah or the messenger of humanity? It's not possible. It doesn't make sense, and we've been living in a lie. Appreciate that, Mama Shu. It doesn't make sense, and we've been living in a lie. We've been living in a lie. The devil is a lie. That is the evil one. Jesus is the Antichrist. The Antichrist. He is against the Caucasian is against the Christ. You want to know why? Because they have systems in place like COINTELPRO, the Willie Lynch syndrome, the projects, guns, drugs. They are against God's people. God's people are African American people, melanated beings, people of Caribbean, Brazilian, South American descent. We are God's people. They are against God's people. So how could they be for the Christ? Sounds like the Antichrist to me, y'all. Add it up. Add it up. Add it up. And then, like I told y'all earlier, Jesus was from where? Jesus was born and raised where? In Nazareth. In Palestine, the Middle East, which is what? Modern day what? Israel. And Israel is where on your world map? Where is the country Israel on your world map? Israel is actually on the top right, northeast Africa. It's like the last country a part of Africa. Yeah, it's in the Middle East, but it's in Africa, which is next to the equator, the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, where the sun is at its most powerful. You would have had to be a melanated being. Even Google AI would tell you that Jesus was a olive tone to brown to light brown skinned man. He was a melanated man, that similar of African American people of today. And on top of that, Jesus or the Messiah would have had to come and speak the dialect or the language of the people he came to save, like my chief teaches. Jesus is a Latin name. Jesus is a Latin person. The most poor in spirit of people today are African American people, melanated beings. How the fuck is Jesus, as a white man, a Latin man, gonna come and help us and we speak English? He gonna need a translator. He gonna need a translator. No, that don't make sense, y'all. So please go do your research on that. Please go understand what's going on, man. The Most High Chief, Eligio the Christ, has given us the information, all of the knowledge and all of the understanding to debunk these lies of today, man. And it's imperative and it behooves all of us to utilize this information to set ourselves free, to liberate our minds. You feel me? Because once our minds are free from white supremacy, what the mind is doing, the body is doing. So we are in prison truly. My chief not in jail because he's free mentally, spiritually. We are those that are lost, and that's why we need the dreamer. That's why we need the Messiah, so that we can know that we have been guilty of sin, so that we can get things right, so that we can do things right. So that's what it is, man. Reflect the life from the honorable prophet, Eligio the Christ, man. I love myself, man. Peace to the gods. Free to 3, man.